Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys hockey contest between the visiting Tigers of Newton North High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. I know today, for most of the world, is Super Bowl Sunday. And of course, I'm sure plenty of football fans are looking forward to a hopefully entertaining matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers later tonight. But we've got ourselves a nice little matinee here, I think, between two historic rivals, Brookline and Newton North. Always a fun time whenever these two schools face off in any sport, in any year, regardless of how good or bad the teams might be doing, how far apart their records might be. But in this particular sport, in this particular year, these are two very close teams. Brookline and Newton North took each other on at Newton North's home arena at Ryan Arena in Watertown back on January 10th, and that game ended in a 4-4 tie. So you know these teams can put points on the board against each other, and you know they can play it close. And they can also play it close in the power rankings. The MIAA Division I power rankings came out back on Friday morning. They had Brookline ranked 37th in Division I with a record of 3 wins, 11 losses, and 3 ties. While for Newton North, they came in ranked just one spot behind them at 38th. They were listed as having a record of 5-7-1, but in actuality, according to MassHSHockey.com, their record is 5-9-1, and as they had a couple of games that weren't quite listed at that point when those power rankings came out. So the Zamboni has just finished making its rounds. We'll soon get the players coming out onto the ice, and we'll be able to get this one underway. Pardon me for a second. Just going to up the brightness just a smidge. That looks a little better. So the two teams will be coming out on the ice, and then I will give us our rosters for the two teams coming in today. We'll play our little intro video, and then we'll get our pregame ceremonies before the opening puck drop. Remember, folks, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat or to send me an email. You can find my email in the bottom right corner of your screen. But any messages you would like to say to me, any messages you would like to send out to the teams or the kids or what have you, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. And speaking of those kids, here they come. First out of the tunnel, the hosting Brookline High Warriors. The officials coming out behind them, and then coming out in their orange jerseys, the visitors and Brookline's longtime rival, the Newton North High Tigers. Folks, are you ready for some Brookline Newton North action? Because I know I am. I'm always ready for a game like that. You know me. So let's read out the rosters for the two teams coming into today. We'll start over here on our right with the visitors, the Newton North High Tigers. Going in order of jersey number for Newton North, first off we have a senior goalie, number 1, Gavin Doucette. Next, a senior forward, number 2, Hayden Willen. A sophomore defenseman, number 3, Tyler Bubanis McCarthy. A freshman defenseman, number 4, Garrett Silwa. A junior forward, number 5, Tommy Cedrone. A junior defenseman, number 6, Max Lee. A sophomore defenseman, number 7, Brody King. A senior forward, number 8, Luke Tenaglia. A senior forward, number 9, Aiden Umina. A senior forward, number 10, Max Ryabov. A sophomore forward, number 11, Ben Pachis. A junior forward, number 12, Will Pryor. A senior defenseman, number 15, Steven Solari. A freshman forward, number 16, Christian Cerrone. A sophomore defenseman, number 17, Cam Norton. A freshman forward, number 18, Chase Umina. A freshman forward, number 19, Derek McAuliffe. A sophomore forward, number 21, Raymond Arthur. A freshman forward, number 22, Brandon Smith. A junior defenseman, number 23, Kellen McGarry Partridge. A freshman defenseman, number 27, Ryan Burke. And a junior goalie, number 30, Barnaby Dano. Head coach of the Newton North High boys hockey team is Dan Doucette. So those are the visitors. Now let's move over to our left for the roster for the hosting Brookline High Warriors. In order of jersey number again, first off, we have a sophomore forward, number 2, Jack Herman. A freshman forward, number 3, Ricky Ace. A senior defenseman and captain, number 4, Noah Gurdon. A sophomore forward wearing either number 6 or number 24, Greg Aptekman. A junior forward, number 7, Connor Erdman. A senior forward, number 8, Tommy May. A junior forward, number 9, Max Guo. A junior forward, number 10, Jace Gungadarin. A senior forward, number 11, Seth Walpowitz. A senior forward and captain, number 12, Henry Ames. A junior forward and captain, number 13, Grady Ames. A freshman forward and defenseman, number 14, Preston Bayless. A sophomore forward, number 15, Aton Kate. A junior forward, number 16, Alex Lynn. A freshman defenseman, number 17, Jameson Young. A junior defenseman, number 18, Thomas O'Brien. A junior defenseman, number 19, Ryan Wilson. A sophomore forward, number 21, Owen Lacey. A junior defenseman, number 23, Dylan Katz. A junior goalie, number 30, Jack O'Connor. And a sophomore goalie, number 31, Craig Haas. Head coach of the Brookline High boys hockey team is Anthony Sarno. Well, we got our first note in the live chat from one of our regulars, Marlene Lyons. Go Warriors, go Dylan Katz, and go Chiefs. You know, at first I was a bit surprised to hear go Chiefs from you, Marlene, but then I realized from the many notes you've sent in the live chat, I know that you are watching from Michigan. And so it wouldn't be too hard to fathom that you might just be a Detroit Lions fan. And of course, very heartbreakingly, the Lions were eliminated in the NFC Championship game by the San Francisco 49ers. So I could very much see you rooting against the Niners and for the Chiefs. But the Super Bowl is not what we're worried about right now. That's something for later tonight. For right now, we are worried about the hockey game in front of us. Brookline versus Newton North. It's going to be a show. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Hockey. Racing back the other way, and it scores! Fighting for it now, pass through, and Visnicki somehow stopped by O'Connor. How on earth? Cat behind the boards and a shot, score! The man, the myth, the legend, the Hank Ames! Pass it back to Young. Young winds, fires, deflected, up in the air, knocks, and Connor Erdman ties it up! All right, pregame clock has expired. We're about to get our starting lineups, national anthem, and opening puck drop.
Participating student athletes, coaches, travelers, officials, and local influencers prepare for today's competition. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance. Ensure that your behaviors reflect the values of the NFL by leading student athletes. Ensure to be thoughtful in your behavior and in the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon an MIAA school or security official. Now, our starting lineup for Wednesday's practice will be coached by Andrew Stepp. On defense, sophomore number 17, Cam Norton.
First starter for Newton North, number 17, Cam Norton. Next, number 7, Brody King. After that, we got number 2, Hayden Willen. And number 11, Ben Pachis. And number 9, Aiden Umina. And in goal, number 1, Gavin Doucette. First starter for Brookline, number 18, Thomas O'Brien. Next, number 23, Dylan Katz. Next, number 7, Connor Erdman. And number 12, Henry Ames. Number 9, Max Guo. And in goal, number 31, Craig Haas.
Our regulations, this persevere through the leadership and sacrifice of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand. We thank you for your service. And now, please have your attention as the Huskies will be playing our national anthem.
All right, we've got our starting lineups and our national anthem. We will soon have our opening puck drop here at Walter Brown Arena in this matchup between Brookline and Newton North. Both teams currently outside of the playoff picture looking in. And for Brookline, the chance to get in with a 500 or better record is out the window at this point. Not quite impossible for Newton North, although it would be considerably difficult, as they would essentially have to win out in order to do that. They can't really afford. They can't afford a single loss. And they can only afford one tie if they are going to reach 500. But both teams currently on the outside in terms of the power rankings. I mean, you never know what those might do, but the odds of vaulting themselves up to the 32nd or higher spot at this late stage in the season, especially for Brookline with only a few games left on the docket, seem very slim. But even if this game doesn't have a big impact on the playoff picture, you know these teams aren't holding back. It's Brookline versus Newton North. You know what it is. It's game time. Puck being knocked back and forth through the neutral zone, and it's lifted over the Brookline bench and out of play off the stick of number 17, Cam Norton. So I'll have a face-off in the Newton North end. Sent to the corner. Norton trying to send it around, but can't. Max Guo recovers it, passes it to Henry Ames, who sends it back to the blue line to Dylan Katz. Now back to Henry Ames, who juggles it and loses it into the neutral zone, and Brookline forced to reset. Ames pass up to Connor Erdman, who shuffles it along into the Newton North end. Chasing after it is Norton and Guo. Guo disturbs it, but it is recovered by number 9, Aiden Umina. Newton North trying to clear, they cannot. Connor Erdman recovers. Erdman winds, fires, blocked by the body of Umina. Norton lifts it out as Brookline commits to a change. No icing, must have bounced off a Brookline player. Dylan Katz takes it around the back. Pass up, misses Jason Goddard, but it does go off the stick of a Newton North player, so this wouldn't be icing either way. It's chased down along the back by number 15, Steven Solari, who wraps it around the boards. It's moved out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Brookline's Ryan Wilson. Pass back to Captain Noah Gurdon, skating with it, slides it across to Wilson. Now pass up to the neutral zone. It is taken by Grady Ames. Ames gains the blue. Pass to Jason Goddard, approaching shot saved by Doucette. Around the back, it is wrapped around the boards by number 19, Derek McAuliffe. Now sent off the boards all the way down to the Brookline end, and it's going to be covered up at a hard bit of pushing and shoving afterwards as the ref incessantly blowing the whistles. I mean, when a player comes into a contact with a goalie, that's just what's going to happen. You know, I don't think there was anything malicious about what happened there, just kind of an unfortunate coincidence. But regardless, hockey players are going to be taught from basically pee-wee on that when your goalie, gets touched, you jump into Secret Service mode. And unfortunately, Brookline's going to pay a price for those instincts as Ryan Wilson is going to the penalty box for a 2-minute minor. So first power play of the day for Newton North, as Newton North does control the face-off. Pass goes back to the blue line. That pass misses Umina, who's coming from King. Up against the boards. Katz steals it. In the corner, it's recovered, passed along the back by number 11, Ben Pachis. Sent back to King, over to Umina. The one-timer might have deflected off the body of Pachis, actually. In the boards, scrumming for it. Pachis has it in the corner. Pass for Umina. Slides it back to King. King gives back to Umina. Umina approaches. Shot blocked by Katz. Katz trying to clear. Gets it past King. And all the way down to the Newton North end. King going to take it around the back. Pass up to Norton. Norton slides it across to Umina. Umina gains the blue. Tried to weave around defenseman, couldn't. Pages try to send one through to the slot, but nobody there, and it's cleared out by Thomas O'Brien. Puck was sliding very close to the net, but Brody King got there before Henry Ames, and now King skating with speed. He's going to gain the blue line himself, gets smushed into the boards by Noah Gurdon, and the puck is chased down by Hayden Willen. Willen's pass gets to King, back to the point to Norton, and nope, went across the blue line, so that will be offsides. .38 seconds left on the penalty clock. Brookline doing a pretty strong job on the penalty kills so far. I don't think there's been a single shot on net from Newton North in this power play thus far. Off the face-off, it is taken. Approaching pass, broken up. Luke Tenaglia was trying to find Chase Umina, but it wasn't there. Skating with it now is Solari. And manages to get off the boards, gain the blue line, but the puck is poked loose by Jamison Young. Into the boards they fly, and it's recovered. Pass along the back to Solari. Solari sends it back around to Tenaglia. Tenaglia back to the corner, and poked loose by Gurdon as Chase Umina couldn't get there. Now it's lifted back into the Brookline end, but it's going to be covered up by Haas as the penalty has concluded. So no goals and I believe no shots on net for Newton North during that power play. 11:27 on the clock here in the first period. Off the face-off, it deflects right back to Haas, who's not going to take any risks, just going to cover that one up. See if they can reset and get a face-off deflection that slides a little further away from the net. And Brookline does clear it out to the neutral zone where it's taken by King, lifted into the Brookline end immediately where it's chased down by O'Brien, reps it around the boards. Goddard sends it off the boards and finds his line mate Grady Ames. Ames gains the blue, rushing in, shot, score! Grady Ames with the first goal of the game. A laser to the far side post. Let's take a look at this. A nice assist by Jason Goddard. Just a simple pass off the boards. And Grady Ames, when he takes off with space, look out. He's got speed. He's got a nasty shot. And he showed both of those there. Grady Ames with the goal, assisted by Jason Goddard and Thomas O'Brien. And Brookline approaching again. That shot from Erdman was saved by Doucette. Newton North trying to skate it the other way. Brookline with a 1-0 lead, but Aiden Umina trying to do something about it. Around the back, lost the puck, but it's recovered by Aiden Willen. Pass back to Pages. Pages shot blocked by Guo. Erdman lost his footing, but does get a pass away to Wilson. Wilson lifts it off the boards into the neutral zone. It slides past Tyler Bubanis McCarthy, who does get a pass off the boards to Pages, but that pass just out of reach for Aiden Umina, but Noah Gurdon missed it. Umina approaching, shot saved by Haas. Brookline avoids disaster. And so the PA announcer crediting one of the assists to Greg Aptekman, who was not on the ice during that play. They're only human. They're only human. Off the faceoff, back to King. Shot goes wide. Off the boards, Eitan Kate slides a pass back to O'Brien, across to Katz. Katz, long pass up, finds Kate, but it was poked away by Norton. Kate chased it down in the corner, smushed into the boards by King. That's going to be a penalty against Newton North. Kate a little shaken up on that one, but he seems to be okay. So Brookline coming right off the goal is going to get to go on the power play as Brody King will go to the box. Prime opportunity for Brookline to try and go up by multiple scores. Off the face-off, it's sent back to Noah Gurdon. Gurdon from the point, fires, misses wide. Puck is recovered by Henry Ames, gives it back to Gurdon. Gurdon approaching, shots went off the post. And Erdman prevents the clear by Pachis as Guo recovers pass to Ames, back to Noah Gurdon, across to Grady Ames. Back to the point to Gurdon and back to Grady Ames. Ames tries to send one through, redirected wide of the net by Erdman. As Guo trying to battle for it. Solari trying to knock it loose, gets it around to Norton, tries to wrap one around, but it's blocked by Henry Ames. Lifts a pass high, it's knocked down, but stolen away by Newton North, and it's going to be cleared out by Pachis. Haas takes the puck and slings it around the boards. Grady Ames passes it back behind the net to Gurdon. Gurdon passes up to Henry Ames. Ames pass blocked by Aiden Umina, but Connor Erdman tracks it down, gets a pass across to Henry Ames. Ames gains the blue line. Racing it down and now passing it back to Noah Gurdon. Gurdon back to the point. Pass to the near side boards, got away from Grady Ames, knocked loose by Solari, but recovered by Erdman. But Erdman lost control of it, and it's stolen away by Pachis, and Pachis is going to clear it out. So a couple of sloppy puck losses as Aiden Umina is going to take this one around the back and pass it back, but it does go out to the neutral zone. And so Newton North just has to lift it into the Brookline end. A little less than 30 seconds left on the power play. Pass got away from Gengadarin, and it's sent back to the Brookline end by Solari. O'Brien takes it again. Pass misses his target, Aptekman, and it's going to be cleared out by Newton North again, this time taken by Katz. Katz skating through the neutral zone, dumps it into the Newton North end as the penalty is coming to an end. Doucette parks it. It's taken by Kate. Kate tried to send a pass, but nobody was there. The penalty concludes, no score for Brookline, as that is going to be an icing for Newton North now that the penalty is over. So neither team able to capitalize on the power play so far here in the first period. A 1-0 lead for Brookline off an even strength goal by Grady Ames, assisted by Jace Gengadarin and Thomas O'Brien. Face off, scrummed for, ultimately recovered by Kate, tried to send a pass through, but nobody there. Along the boards, they scrum for it. Tommy May managed to get it into open space where Jack Herman hits it to the corner. Sent around the boards. And Chase Umina was trying to move it. Does get it out to the neutral zone. Preston Bayless sends it off the boards, but Chase Umina takes it again. Lifts it into the Brookline end. Gurdon going to get there first. And now taking it around the back was Herman. Pass over to May. May's pass gets to Herman. Herman skating through with some space. Herman gains the blue. Herman weaving around, and the puck is knocked away, I believe, by King. So Brookline makes a couple of line changes. It is taken now by Tenaglia, and now I believe that's going to be icing against Newton North. Face off to the near side boards. Couple players scrumming for it. Grady Ames tries to knock it loose, but it's knocked back into the boards. Now Gengadarin trying to skate with it. In the corner, still pinned up against it. Pass gets back to Grady Ames. Shot saved by Doucette. Again, some great synergy by line mates Grady Ames and Jace Gengadarin. But that time, a nice glove save by Gavin Doucette to keep it a one-score game. Off the face-off, it's Gengadarin again. Pass gets through to Grady Ames. Shot saved again by Doucette. Rebound recovered by O'Brien, who sends it around the back. Sent right back around by Norton. And O'Brien recovers. Pass gets to Aptekman. Pass could not be corralled. Off the boards, Katz tries to send one through. Recovered shot by Gungarin was blocked, and it's still in there. They're still scrumming for it. It goes wide of the net. Norton was trying to recover it, but it's wrestled away by Aptekman in the corner. Pass gets through. Gungarin's shot stopped by Doucette. Gavin Doucette and the Newton North defense with their backs against the wall these past couple of possessions. But Doucette has stood tall so far. Off the face-off, Guo recovers pass to Erdman, lost it in his skates a bit. Pass just missed. Guo recovered by Wilson. His pass blocked and cleared out well by number 22, Brandon Smith. Brookline gains the blue once again, racing in. Shot saved by Doucette off the shot from Gurdon. Now moving up, Smith sends a pass into some open space. The pass gets sent back to Smith, who shuffles it along to the Brookline end. Wilson gets there, pass up to Henry Ames, but he lost it, taken back by Newton North. Puck was lost, a shot blocked by Gurdon on the shot attempted by Raymond Arthur. Solari sends it off the boards to Arthur, who shuffles it along into the Brookline end. Chase down Solari, shot saved by Haas. .5:22 on the clock here in the first period. Still 1-0, the slim Brookline lead. Off the face-off, almost a point-blank chance, just barely disrupted and stopped. King tries to insert, but it's blocked. It's taken now by number 11. I'm not sure who that is, as that pass misses. Chased down and taken by Newton North. Pass gets up to number 19, Derek McAuliffe. He gets pinned to the boards by Katz. O'Brien leaves it for Herman. Herman pass up to 11, now up to Katz. Katz attacking with it, across the blue line, pass back, shot, missed wide. Rebound recovered by Katz. Pass it back to 11, who slides it around the corner. Kate could not stay with it, wrestled away by Norton. McAuliffe tries to lift it out, stopped by Katz. Katz passes it back in, knocked back. Katz recovers again, sends it around the corner. Norton takes it this time, trying to wrap it around the other way. Tenaglia with it, lifts it high, gets out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Katz. Slid across to O'Brien. O'Brien off the boards. Norton sends it back off the boards the other way. No icing. Around the back. Aiden Umina chasing after it, but he gets tangled up with Katz. Umina does take it in the corner. Katz disrupts him, but the clear is blocked by Solari. Shot saved by Haas, and the rebound almost knocked in by Umina, but just barely blocked at the last second by O'Brien as it sails into the netting. I'm so stupid. Number 11 is Seth Walpowitz. Boy, I fumbled the ball on that one. That's my fault, folks. I apologize. Face off. Sent around by Willen. Aiden Umina. Pass back Solari. Solari sends it into the corner, finds his man. Pass goes back to Aiden Umina. Up against the boards, manages to get a pass away to Willen. Willen sends it back to the point. Solari shot knocked down and almost slid across, but just barely turned aside by Haas as Willen was crashing for a potential knock-in. And Umina lost the puck, taken away by Gungarin. Pass up to Aptekman. Aptekman slides it down, no icing, covered up by Doucette. .3:18 on the clock. Here in the first, off the face-off, it's sent back to Wilson. Wilson sends it around the corner. All the way around. Norton going to get there first. Try and clear. Stopped by Gurdon Off a ricochet, it's taken by Henry Ames. Pass down low, knocked back. Erdman, a chance. Couldn't get it past Doucette, but recovers and comes around the back. Erdman, pass back. Gurdon, shot blocked and pushed aside by Doucette after the block by number 16, Christian Cerrone. They send it out to the neutral zone. It's taken by Henry Ames. That pass blocked by Brandon Smith. Brookline fights it through to the Newton North end, but it's whipped back out by Brody King. Now Noah Gurdon skating up with it. Gurdon approaching, limited angle, coming around the back. Pass through, Erdman, shot, deflected high, and the net gets knocked over on top of Doucette. An absolutely chaotic play, and are they about to call something on Brookline for knocking over the net? Yes, they are. Noah Gurdon is going to be called. A very strange sequence as Brookline was putting together a nice attack there. And I think what the officials are saying, I'm not entirely sure, they might be saying that Gurdon knocked over the net from behind and then that interfered with Doucette, so maybe it's goalie interference? Either way, Noah Gurdon going to be serving a 2-minute minor with 2 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock here in the first period. So another power play chance for Newton North. Off the face-off. Scrumming for it in the corner. They called Gurdon for delay of game is what they called. So it's not interference, it's a delay of game, but it is for knocking over the net. Pass goes back. Solari, shot saved by Haas, and that deflects into the netting. You don't see a lot of delay of game calls at the high school level because the most typical delay of game call in hockey is for lifting the puck over the boards. And they call that a lot more in the pros because the pro players just have a lot more puck control than they do at the high school level. So you can point to a pro player and say, hey, that's your fault. Like, you made a mistake. You committed an infraction here by lifting this puck over the boards. But at the high school level, you typically can't say that because it's like, well, that was probably an accident. But here we do see a rather unique penalty call as this puck goes into the corner again. Newton North takes control. Pass goes back to King. King's pass up to Aiden Umina. Shot saved by the glove of Haas. No shortage of pressure on either goalie here in the early stages of this game. They've both had to make a number of saves. 1:17 still on the penalty clock. Off the face-off, it slides back to Solari. Solari, pass down to Aiden Umina. Umina looking back to the point. Solari, pass over, shot, saved by Haas, knocked down and knocked in. Ben Pachis ties it up on the power play. The initial shot came from Brody King, who will be credited with the assist. His shot was saved by Haas, but it was knocked high in the air inside the crease, and heads up puck tracking and stick skills by Ben Pachis as he knocks that puck down and then knocks it in. So Ben Pachis, the power play goal, assisted by Brody King and Steven Solari, ties us up at 1 apiece. And so with the game tied at 1-1, Solari skating away. They lost it. Grady Ames with the strong forecheck, coming around the back, trying to get a pass through, but too much traffic. Recovered by Gurdon. Gurdon looking, sends a pass. Grady Ames recovers, passes back, and Goddard shot saved by Doucette. That line of Gungarin, Aptekman, and Grady Ames has been strong for Brookline throughout this game, and it has produced the only goal so far for Brookline. Tied at 1-1 with 53.9 seconds left in the first period. Off the faceoff, Norton whips it around the boards, and now it's lifted high out to the neutral zone where players getting tangled up for it. It's knocked over to Henry Ames. Pass goes off a skate, but is recovered by Connor Erdman, who gains the blue. Erdman coming around the defense, approaching shot, went wide, and Erdman gets knocked into the net, which gets knocked off its post, which will result in a Newton North End faceoff. The Guo, Erdman, Henry Ames line has also been fairly strong early on today, but has not produced a goal just yet, but has generated a few good chances. Off the face-off, Connor Erdman was trying to lift it through, couldn't. Guo passes it back to Gurdon. Gurdon skating with it, still skating with it. Along the boards, got pinned there. Erdman tried to come in and help. Puck's knocked loose, recovered. Guo. Guo past Gurdon, shot, saved. Doucette, everybody couldn't tell where the puck was, and it's now recovered by Willen. Long pass across to an open man. Aiden Umina charging in, shot is in! Aiden Umina off a long assist from Hayden Willen gives Newton North the 2-1 lead with 7.7 seconds left in the first period. So now Newton North with 2 unanswered goals, giving them the lead in the closing seconds of the first period as the horn sounds there. So at the end of one, the score, the Newton North Tigers 2, the Brookline Warriors 1. Brookline struck first on this goal early in the period by Grady Ames, assisted by Jace Gungodarin and Thomas O'Brien on just a laser of a wrister sent far side. But then Newton North answering back later in the period. A power play goal by Ben Pachis, assisted by Brody King and Steven Solari. And then that breakaway goal by Aiden Umina, assisted by Hayden Willen. 2-1 the score here in the first intermission. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan at Walter Brown Arena. I'm going to take a break and mute the mic, but I will be back for the second period. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. We are about to start the second period of today's high school varsity boys hockey game between the visiting Newton North High Tigers and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Brookline got the first score on the board in the first, with a goal scored by Grady Ames, assisted by Jason Goddard and Thomas O'Brien. But Newton North struck back with a vengeance with 2 late goals in the first period. The first one, a power play goal scored by Ben Pachis, assisted by Brody King and Steven Solari. And then a breakaway score by Aiden Umina off a long assist from Hayden Willen. And that is where we stand. Newton North with a 2-1 lead. But with the kind of offense these two teams have been generating against each other, I'd actually be very surprised if that score held for the rest of the game. So be on the lookout, folks. We're in for some action as the second period is about to start. Here we go, second period underway. Brookline controls the opening face-off. That pass just out of reach for Max Guo. And Newton North trying to clear it out, but it was blocked by Grady Ames. Now an interception and a shot deflected up into the netting. Brookline was going with a line of Max Guo, Henry Ames, and Grady Ames. So a bit of a shuffled forward line and almost paid big dividends as both Ames brothers came through with some nice blocks in the attack end to generate a big scoring chance that was just blocked at the last second. Guo taking the puck around the back, passes back. Gurdon shot, turned aside by Gavin Doucette, recovered by Grady Ames. Passed off the official skates and taken by Aiden Umina, sent up high. Disrupted, but it is cleared by Hayden Willen. Pass sent across to Noah Gurdon, who dumps it into the Newton North end. Brody King going to take it around the back. Long pass finds Willen. Willen's pass to Ben Pachis. And Aiden Umina swoops in to take it across the blue line, pinned to the boards by Gurdon. Grady Ames taps it back to Gurdon, whose pass is blocked by Willen. And now pinned to the boards, Willen coming around the back, pass deflected, and Umina's shot stopped by Craig Haas. Now taken around the back by Pachis. Pass goes back to Cam Norton, shot blocked and knocked loose. It's a race for the puck. Henry Ames gets there first, gains the blue line, but the puck is knocked away as Brookline commits to a full change. Norton's pass off the boards to Willen. Willen dumps it into the Brookline end where it's parked and covered up by Haas. So already you can see what I mean about both teams generating quality attack chances back and forth. Off the face-off, Brookline racing up ice with it. Jason Goddard breaking through. Greg Aptekman approaching, shot saved, rebound saved, rebound still loose. A couple of huge saves by Gavin Doucette off of shots by Greg Aptekman and Connor Erdman. Puck goes around the back, taken by Erdman. Pass back and Goddard shot wide of the net. Rebound knocked up against the boards and does get out to the neutral zone. Chased down by Dylan Katz. Katz fending off the forecheck from Chase Umina. His pass blocked by Luke Tenaglia. Around the back, Tenaglia pass blocked by the skates of Katz. Recovers pass. Chase Umina had a wide open net in front of him but couldn't get a stick on it as it was blocked by a defender. Now the puck taken by Thomas O'Brien. O'Brien's pass deflected up in the air and across the blue line it goes. But Newton North did touch it, so Eitan Kate can go after it. Couple players fighting for it. Seth Walpowitz comes away with it. Now Gurdon moves it forward. Hard check into the boards. And that's going to be a penalty on Newton North. And so a golden chance for Brookline, as I think they called the cross check on number 18, Chase Umina. Second time that kind of penalty has been called on Newton North, where it's like, yes, you can smash someone into the boards when they're already right up against the boards, But if they're, just like a couple feet away from the boards, then that kind of check becomes dangerous. And, whether it's, again, whether it's malicious or not, if it's a violation of the rules, they're going to call it. Off the face-off, Noah Gurdon skating in, shot, sails high, and is going to ricochet all the way back to the Brookline end. Now Brookline trying to race through with it. The pass slightly blocked, but Henry Ames does take it and send it back to Noah Gurdon. Gurdon skating through the neutral zone himself, gains the blue line, approaching. Puck knocked away, but Gurdon recovers in the corner after the disruption by Norton. Gurdon with some space in the corner, pass back, Grady Ames, and a whistle. Oh, we've got an injured Brookline player. This is Connor Erdman. I couldn't tell if he was holding his wrist or if he's holding something else, or is he just frustrated because he's been called for a penalty. So he's not injured. He's been called for a penalty. So the power play ends for Brookline, and we're going to have a 4-on-4 situation instead. It's going to be 4-on-4, and then a 38-second power play for Newton North. Off the faceoff, Grady Ames sending it off the boards for Gungarin. Battling with Solari. After pinning him to the boards, it is taken now, being skated the other way by Aiden Umina. Umina gets across the blue line, but the puck's knocked away. Ames sends it up to Gungarin. Gungarin gains the blue. Approaching, pass goes back to Dylan Katz, sends it back to the point to Noah Gurdon. Gurdon fakes, passes down to Katz. Shot is stopped by Gavin Doucette and covered up. .11 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock here in the second. 2-1, Newton North leads Brookline. Currently we are in a 4-on-4 situation. Face-off is won by Newton North. Norton taking it around the back. Off the boards, gets to the neutral zone, but it's stolen away by Henry Ames. Slides it over to Gurdon. Gurdon gains the blue. Skating in, couldn't get around Norton and goes hard into the boards as Guo recovers it around the back, slides it around the back again, but Norton gets there first and whips it all the way around down to the Brookline end. As Henry Ames recovers, pass goes off the back of the net, but does get to Katz, who sends it back to Henry Ames. Ames sends a pass back up to Katz. Katz skating with it through the neutral zone. Katz gains the blue line. Katz approaching, looking, pass disrupted, but does get through to Guo, but he whiffs on the shot, and it's covered up by Doucette. Guo's had a couple of nice passes come his way where he just couldn't quite time his stick swing right. That time it was, a pass through a lot of traffic. Would have been very hard to time that one right, but here we go. Another face-off. Grady Ames taking it around the back. Keeping the puck. Spinning off his defender. Weaves around him. Puck's poked back. Thomas O'Brien kind of whiffed on his initial try and couldn't get around that time, and now it's taken back by the Tigers. Tenaglia's pass across, and now it's a power play for Newton North as Chase Umina out of the box. It's whipped around the boards. Chase Umina trying to get there, but it's stolen away. O'Brien skating the other way on the shorthand, dumps it into the Newton North end and chases after it himself all the way into the corner. Off the ricochet, it's taken by King. King skating up with it. We're back at even strength as that long pass is going to go for icing. So neither team able to take advantage of their short time on the power play. nor are they able to score in a 4-on-4 situation. We are back to normal 5-on-5 with 9:32 on the clock here in the second. Off the face-off, battle for the puck, and the shot couldn't get off of Henry Ames' stick, but a pass does get up to Erdman. Erdman trying to battle around his defender. Pass goes through, could not get a stick on it. Cleared out to the neutral zone, but taken back by Katz. Katz lifts it in, but it's knocked down and taken by Bubanis McCarthy. Sent up the line, but knocked away by Gurdon, taken by Henry Ames, slid back to Gurdon. Gurdon skating with it, gains the blue. Gurdon weaving around, Gurdon approaching, Gurdon's shot, score! Oh my God, how did my mic get muted? Oh man, I think that might have just been after the goal. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties. I hope that wasn't out for long. And O'Brien called for a 5-minute major, so we got a 5-minute major going against both teams, so it's going to be 4-on-4 for the next 3 minutes plus, and then Newton North gets a power play that continues until that 5 minutes runs out completely, because as we just found out from Max Guo's power play goal, that penalty stays even when a power play goal is scored. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I messed up the audio there. I'm so sorry, folks. I hope at least that I only messed it up right after the goal was scored. Off the face-off, Erdman, pass forward blocked, and it's now taken by Aiden Umina. Umina skating, gains the blue, shot, saved by Haas. Umina recovers in the corner, but he's pinned to the corner. Puck's knocked loose. Grady Ames tries to send it up, but it's taken away by Pachis, but then blocked by Ames, and now Erdman racing up with it. Erdman gains the blue. Erdman tries a pass, blocked, recovers it. Now Erdman trying to weave through himself, knocked away, taken by Umina. Hard collision between a couple of Brookline teammates as it's now taken by Pachis, given to Umina. Umina gains the blue, no offsides. Umina looking around, lost control of the puck, try to get a pass, and it goes off the skate of Pachis into open space where it's going to be taken, passed up to King. King slides it along. Katz taking it around the back. Pass across, Grady Ames. Long pass up to Katz. Katz approaching, shot saved by Doucette. Now racing the other way, number 19, Derek McAuliffe. Blocked by Gurdon. Guo taking the puck, slides it over to Gurdon. Gurdon trying to push with it. Up against the boards. Katz sends it over to Grady Ames, who gains the blue. Matched up with McAuliffe. Up against the boards. Going around with it. Grady Ames almost had it, but it's stolen away. And racing the other way, it's a 2-on-1. Big chance for Newton North. The shot is blocked up high. Noah Gurdon, despite being outnumbered 2-1, managed to outwit Brody King on that play, make him think he was going to cover the pass, which is typically what a defender will do in that situation. You know, let the goalie man up the shooter while the defender takes on the potential wide open pass. But instead, Gurdon faked that way and went the other way to block the shot. Off the face-off, Brookline skating with it. Henry Ames gains the blue. Coming around the back, weaving in, shot, not in. Just barely turned aside by Gavin Doucette, and the goal goes off its post. 4 minutes even left in the second period. 43 seconds left on the major penalty against Newton North's Hayden Willen. 2 minutes and 32 seconds left on the 5-minute major against Thomas O'Brien. Face-off controlled by Newton North. This is Norton. Norton going to gain the blue line himself. Norton approaching. Norton coming around the back. But the puck hopped over his stick and he completely lost control of it. Battling for it. Pachis sends it up. Norton's shot wide of the net. Along the boards. Young slides it up to Kate. Goes back to Jamison Young. Knocked away, Aiden Umina. Battling for it, but it's taken by Ryan Wilson. Wilson, poke check by Bubanis McCarthy took it away. And now I think, what is this, an offsides? Well, it's a whistle right as the penalty clock concludes, and whoa! Oh, it was a no penalty against Newton North, so as one guy comes out, another one goes in, as Aiden Umina now going to serve a penalty. So Newton North just about to go on a power play. And now going right back to 4-on-4. No love lost between Brookline and Newton North, as we're seeing a bunch of penalties committed in this one. So Umina is going to serve a 2-minute minor for tripping. And whoa, another player is going into the box. Number 23, Kellen McGarry Partridge. I'm pretty sure he wasn't on the ice, so this has got to be a bench penalty. But it looks like they're just going to keep it 4-on-4. It's a little weird. Bit confusing. Folks, if you know any fans that tuned out while I was experiencing the audio difficulties, let them know I fixed it. Again, I'm really, really sorry about that. Off the face-off, Grady Ames slides it around, insert, knocked away from Gungadarin. Willen almost had it, but Gungadarin takes it away. Gungadarin pass off the boards, but nobody there, and it's cleared out to the neutral zone. Skating with it now is Smith, but knocked away by Gurdon. Off the boards, gets away from Gungadarin, taken by King instead. King slides it across to Solari. Solari moves it up ice into the Brookline end. It's going to be chased down by Gurdon. Gurdon weaves off his defender. Weaves off another, and he's going to skate with it himself. Gains the blue line. Pass back. Misses off the boards. Wilson shot blocked. Chasing it down the rebound is Solari. Solari skating the other way, blocked around the blue line by Grady Ames, who's taking it back the other way. Ames approaching, weaving around a defender, tangled up, couldn't get a shot off. King disrupted him just enough to stop the shot. King's pass up to Willen. Willen launches it into the Brookline end. Off the back of the net. Pass gets out to Willen. Back to Bubanis. McCarthy across. Shot from Norton, saved by Haas. Norton sends it back around for Willen. Now Norton coming around the back. Looking. Couple players tangled up. Pass goes back. Bubanis. McCarthy sends it back to the corner for Norton. Norton gets tangled up. A couple players getting tangled up. Taken away by Newton North. Pass goes back. Bubanis. McCarthy again. Now sends it up to Willen. Approaching. Shot blocked by Katz. Katz sends it off the boards. It's taken back by Smith. Shot saved by Haas. And Katz recovers. Pass gets up to Gungadarin. Backhands it forward. Henry Ames trying to chase after it. Bubanis. McCarthy trying to clear. Taken back. Dylan Katz approaching. Turning around. Passing it back to Henry Ames. Back to Katz. Katz lost it. Taken away by the Newton North defense. And deflects off the boards. Taken now by McAuliffe. Pass misses everybody. Deflection means no icing. Gurdon going to take this one. Gurdon skating with it. Picking up speed. Gains the blue line. Gurdon approaching. Couldn't get a shot off. And it's taken around the back by King. Pass goes up to McAuliffe. McAuliffe gains the blue. Whips a shot. Blocked. Recovered briefly by Pachis, but couldn't keep control. And we've got another penalty, this time against Brookline. They're just playing musical penalty boxes here. And this will be a 2-minute minor for Noah Gurdon this time. Newton North still with a player in the box, but that's a player that's serving, I believe, a bench penalty, which at this level does not result in a power play. So this is just going to be a power play for Newton North here in the closing seconds of the second period. Puck's knocked back, pushed wide, chased down by Willen. Willen, pass ahead. Willen comes through, recovers it himself, but the shot is saved by Haas. Just 9.8 seconds left here in the second period. Face-off pushed back to Solari. Solari across King. Insert goes wide of the net and misses everybody. Pachis chases it down, back to Solari. Solari up to Pachis. No time to get a shot off. And that is how the second period will end. So Brookline answers back with 2 unanswered goals of their own in the second period. The first one coming from Noah Gurdon, assisted by Henry Ames. And then the next one on this power play goal scored by Max Guo, assisted by Grady Ames and either Connor Erdman or Noah Gurdon, depending on whether Erdman deflected that pass from Grady Ames. Brookline 3, Newton North 2 as we go into our second intermission. And I'd like to take a moment during this intermission to direct your attention to some helpful links in the description section of this video. At the top of the description section, you can find a link to the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, or rather the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, if you would like to send some money and help support Brookline High Boys Hockey. And then below that, you can find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include Idea Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, that's brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And again, you can find all that information in the description section down below. But for now, Brookline 3, Newton North 2. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm going to mute the mic, but I'll be back with the third and final period of this game. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. We are about to begin the third and final period of what has been a heated back and forth contest between local rivals Brookline and Newton North. Right now, Brookline holding the lead 3-2 after scoring 2 unanswered goals in the second period. A second period full of just one penalty after the next on both sides. And at this point, it almost feels like the team that comes away with the win might just be the team that can stay the most disciplined and keep their players out of the box. I mean, it's an intense rivalry, Brookline versus Newton North, and it's an intense sport, this hockey. So it makes sense we've got an intense game here today. But also important to keep the numbers out there on the ice and not give your opponents opportunities. Each side has scored 1 goal on the power play already. Newton North with a game-tying power play goal back in the first period, scored by Ben Pachis. And Brookline with a go-ahead power play goal scored by Max Guo in the second period. Here we go, third period underway. Dylan Katz whips it down to the Newton North end. Parked around the back, and boy, even the goalie getting physical as you saw him trying to disrupt Max Guo on the forecheck just a bit there. It's whipped back into the Newton North end. Brody King gonna get there first, send it around the corner. Steven Solari lost his footing. It's taken Henry Ames' pass, redirected high over the net. Max Guo was trying to knock that one in, could not. Pachis' pass misses Willen, and it's going to be taken instead by Katz. Katz sends it back to the Newton North end. Around the corners it goes. Grady Ames couldn't collect it. Pachis tried to clear, stopped by Connor Erdman. Puck gets through to Ames, back to Erdman. Erdman shot, misses wide. Along the boards, recovered by Katz. Katz sends it around the corner. King and Erdman battling along with the official to try and get that puck. King ends up with it. Pass knocked aside a bit by Solari. Solari tries to send it off. Taken down by Ames. Ames couldn't fight through 3 defenders. It's taken back by Solari. Solari clears it out to the neutral zone. Blocked a bit by Katz, but Solari gets it to Pachis. Now sent up just out of reach, but it's going to be chased after by Luke Tenaglia and Thomas O'Brien. Deflected around the back, taken by Katz. Katz disrupted from behind, but gets it out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Solari. Pass across to Cam Norton. Lifts it into the Brookline end. Around the boards it goes. Now taken by Solari himself. Sends it around the corner. Caught up in the official's skates, and it's going to be taken by Katz. Katz lifts it way out because Newton North was on the power play. I totally forgot that this was a Newton North power play that just ended as there was a penalty called on Brookline's Noah Gurdon at the end of the second period. So that was actually a power play sequence for Newton North, although you'd be forgiven for not realizing it. It's always tough with those segmented power plays that are caught between periods. Now back at even strength, 5-on-5. Battling for it along the boards. And it is lifted out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Gurdon. Gurdon weaves around one. Sends a pass across the ice that misses everybody. Whipped around by Norton. Gets over to number 16. His pass intercepted by Erdman. Grady Ames now at the puck. Comes out with it. Taken by Erdman. Erdman pass back to Gurdon. Gurdon winds, fires wide of the net. And nobody there for the rebound as Chase Umina tried to clear but blocked by Erdman. Up against the boards, Norton whips it around again. Stopped by Gurdon. Gurdon looking insert, could not be redirected by Erdman. Izzy passes it back to Wilson, across to Gurdon. Gurdon sends it down to Erdman. Erdman looking around, whips a shot, saved by Gavin Doucette. Attempted clear does get out to the neutral zone from Derek McAuliffe, and it's taken by Gurdon over to Wilson. Wilson whiffs on the pass there, and it's knocked loose as Newton North commits to a full change. Wilson pass over to Jace Gingadarin. Gingadarin's pass intercepted, whipped the other way by Luke Tenaglia. Wilson off the glass, downed by Gingadarin. Pass up to Grady Ames, he lost it. Knocked away by Willen, and now Gurdon skating with it. Gurdon trying to weave through several defenders, cannot. And a scrum for the puck is pushed forward, and it's going to be covered up by Craig Haas. .11:32 left in regulation here at Walter Brown Arena. Still 3-2 in favor of Brookline. Off the faceoff, quick shot is saved by Haas. Christian Cerrone had a point-blank chance off the faceoff win. And Coach Anthony Sarno immediately changing his forward line after that near disaster on the faceoff. Off the face-off, near disaster again as Haas keeps it safe. Christian Cerrone giving Brookline some fits on the face-offs, and again, Sarno immediately subs out his forward line off of that. We'll see if Max Guo has any better fortunes. And this time the faceoff goes back to King. His shot blocked wide. Around the back, Smith, shot saved by Haas. Rebound recovered by Guo. Gets it up to Katz. Katz trying to force it out, but he's blocked. That shot was blocked. And now it's slid down to Haas, and he has to cover it up. This line of Christian Cerrone, Brandon Smith, and Raymond Arthur, which I'm pretty sure is the third forward line for Newton North, and yet they have been a thorn in Brookline's side for the past couple of minutes, as that shot from Brody King was blocked by Gurdon. Gets up to Guo, who gives it to Henry Ames. Across to Gurdon now. Gurdon weaves around one, gains the blue line, approaching, heading for the corner. Pass disrupted, and Cerrone sends it around. And pass does get up to Smith. Smith coming around the other way, around the boards. Arthur tries to move it along, blocked by Gurdon. Tangled up, Max Guo swoops in and takes it, launches a shot that deflects high over the bar. Now King couldn't keep the puck, taken away by Guo. Erdman lost his footing, couldn't get a shot off, and now it's a 3-on-2 rush the other way. Solari gets around the defense, into the corner, coming around the back, try to pass off the boards, didn't work, and Wilson whips it around, out to the neutral zone it goes. Henry Ames going to take this one. Ames spins off his defender. Coming around, pass down for Erdman, couldn't corral it, but he takes it around the back. It's deflected high. Erdman recovers it off the boards, lost it in his own skate. Arthur trying to clear, but Grady Ames won't let him. O'Brien whips it off the back boards. Chase Gingadarin coming around the back, pinned to the boards by Solari. Bubonis McCarthy lifts it high, and it's deflected out of play. Again, both teams generating just a number of quality chances throughout the day. So no lead is safe in a game like this. Currently Brookline with a 3-2 advantage, 9:43 on the clock. Face-off, Eitan Kate couldn't get a stick on it for a proper shot. Instead, it's taken by McAuliffe, Whipped around the boards for Chase Umina, tries to clear, and he does get it out to the neutral zone. Jamison Young, pass back to Thomas O'Brien. Long pass deflected high in the air, downed by Kate. He gets pinned to the boards. Grady Ames swoops in, pass to Gangadaran, and almost he did get a stick on it, but not enough of one as Gavin Doucette covers that one up. Off the face-off, it's knocked back to Gurdon. Shot is well wide of the net. Norton sends it off the glass. That is going to be a long clear, too long. I think this will go for icing, and it will. It's interesting. I've talked a couple times about the physicality of this game. You can even see, sometimes the goalies get involved. We saw Gavin Doucette lay out a bit of a body check once when Max Guo was trying to bring the forecheck against one of the Newton North defenders. And we saw him push an attacker aside with his stick a couple possessions ago. Out of the face-off, Norton sends pass through. Tenaglia almost got a shot off, but disrupted, and it goes wide. Herman tries to clear, it's blocked. And pushed to the backboards by Katz, so Tenaglia couldn't get a shot. Off the boards, pushed forward again, and again, Katz there as the last line of defense, as it's knocked back again by Tenaglia and covered up this time by Haas. That was just a battle of wills between Dylan Katz and Luke Tenaglia to see who could get the most deflections in favor of their team. And it ends with a Brookline end face-off. Off the face-off, the clear does get out to the neutral zone as Solari couldn't stop the clear by O'Brien. It's whipped back into the Brookline end. Trying to move it along. Smith takes it, tries a shot well wide and knocked down by O'Brien, who clears it out. Solari, long pass blocked by the body of Henry Ames. King sends it forward to Smith instead, but then disrupted, taken by Henry Ames. Pass misses Guo, taken by King. King skating around, looking for where to go. Gets it up to the neutral zone to Smith. Smith into the Brookline end. Around the back, O'Brien gets smushed to the boards. Pass goes through the crease and misses everybody and goes all the way back to the Newton North end. Doucette leaves it for King. King, pass up to Smith. Smith stolen by Kate, but taken back by King. Pass does get up to Smith in the neutral zone. Smith gains the blue. Shot blocked by Ryan Wilson, sent off the boards, and it's knocked back to the neutral zone. Norton gains the blue and tries to whip one to the corner, but it's blocked by Wilson. The attempted clear intercepted. Cerrone knocks it back forward, taken briefly by Chase Umina, but knocked away by Noah Gurdon. Out to the neutral zone. Norton takes it back, gains the blue again. Whips a shot, but blocked by Gurdon. Gurdon takes the puck, spins off his man. Long pass misses everybody. This will be icing. .7:01 left in the third period here. Still a 3-2 Brookline lead. Off the face-off. Controlled by Bubanis McCarthy. Sends it around the back. O'Brien sends it around the corner. Couple players on the boards. Taken by Pachis. Passes it back to the point. Shot from Willen is missed wide. In the corner, Katz battling with Pachis. Puck's knocked loose. Taken by Aiden Umina. Pass back. Shot. Norton knocked down. No, it's not knocked down. It's just saved by Haas. I don't know how that puck got through all that traffic, but it did and was saved by the body of Craig Haas. Off the face-off, Wilson off the boards to Gungadarin. Gungadarin lifts it into the Newton North end. Battling, it's taken by Aiden Umina. Pass misses, goes all the way down to the Brookline end. No icing, but Gurdon does take it. Poke check knocks it away. Almost taken by Willen, but Gurdon manages to recover it. Gurdon lifts it. It's knocked down. And we've got a whistle blown. Was that just a high stick? This might just be a Brookline end, not a Brookline end, a Newton North end face-off for the high stick there. Off the face-off. And Brookline takes it back at the blue line. Erdman's pass blocked. Into the corner, they battle for it. Cerrone tries to clear, gets it up to Arthur. His clear blocked by Gurdon. Gurdon's pass gets up to Henry Ames. Ames spins off a defender. Coming around the corner, around the back. Still looking. Sends a pass back to the corner to Erdman. Erdman trying to spin off his defender, but he goes to the ground. It's taken away by Norton. Pass does get through, and it's cleared out by Arthur. A race for the puck is going to be won by Smith. Smith's pass does get to Arthur. Pass back for Smith. Smith tangled up, couldn't get it. Shot, Cerrone blocked. Cerrone recovers, tries to get a pass through to Arthur, not there. And now stolen away. Henry Ames skating with it the other way. Ames gains the blue, pinned by Bubonis McCarthy, and Erdman couldn't get a pass off. Bubonis McCarthy, pass near side. Cerrone takes a hard hit, and it's taken away by Brookline. Guo sends it to the Newton North end. Doucette whips it around the boards while Brookline makes a change. That clear blocked by Gungadarin. This clear blocked, and a hard check from Kate. It does get out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Katz. Pass misses O'Brien. Knocked back out to the neutral zone. Off of the ricochets, it is whipped to the Brookline end where it's taken by Katz. Brookline trying to take advantage of a line change. Katz racing in, pass blocked. Now Newton North going the other way. Willen gets a pass to Pages. Pages skating, disrupted, pass blocked. Taken the other way by Grady Ames. Gets a pass through to Gungadarin. Gungadarin across the blue line. Approaching pass. Kate wasn't ready for it. Aiden Umina checked, but it is taken by King. King trying to spin off the forecheck. Gets the pass to Willen. Pass back for King. And King whips it around the boards. Pages leaves it for Aiden Umina. Umina takes it into the Brookline end. Into the backboards. It's taken by Guo. Up against the boards. Puck does get through the neutral zone. Rush chance for Brookline. Max Guo couldn't get a pass off. Blocked by Solari. Solari sends it over to Willen. Willen lifts it off the boards into the neutral zone. Taken by Wilson. Wilson whips it back into the Newton North end. Weird ricochet into the crease, and it's taken by King. King wraps it around the boards. Up to Chase Umina. Lost it in his skates, but it is cleared out. And it's going to go all the way down to the Brookline end, and that will be an icing call. Just over 3 minutes left. And in what has been a very electric game from start to finish, there have been no scores yet here in the third period. But a goal in either direction would change the fabric of this game entirely. Off the face-off, Norton sends it around to Tenaglia. Tenaglia tries to clear and does, and racing after it is McAuliffe. McAuliffe, pass blocked by the body of Noah Gurdon. Another great defensive play by the captain. Gurdon lifts it out, and that very well might go for icing, and it will. But boy, a couple of great defensive plays we've seen from Noah Gurdon here today. He really is just one of those guys who does everything. And Brookline is going to miss him sorely when he graduates after this season. Off the face-off. Couple passes. They're scrumming for it. And off the boards taken by Gengadarin. Pass up to Grady Ames. Ames lifts it through. Does get it. Seth Walpowitz. Walpowitz was rushing up with it. Poked away by Bubanis McCarthy. They go sliding into the boards, and Bubanis McCarthy comes away with it. Gets a pass away. An extra pass off the skate of Chase Umina. And Umina takes it away from O'Brien. Shot turned aside by Craig Haas. Chase Umina sends another shot blocked by Craig Haas. O'Brien's pass up to Walpowitz. Hard check. And a shot from Tenaglia turned aside by Haas. O'Brien sends it off the glass out to the neutral zone where it is taken by King. King gains the blue himself as Newton North commits to a line change. His shot was blocked. Erdman lifts it off the glass into the neutral zone. Henry Ames had it for a second. Now it's knocked forward by Guo. Both teams struggling to get full control of it as Erdman pushes it into the Newton North end. It's pushed back out to the neutral zone, and it's going to be icing. Just a minute 37 left. The time moves by in a flash. Newton North with their last chances to potentially tie this up. You wonder if they might call timeout soon and plan for when they might pull the goalie while down one off the faceoff. Brookline pushing for it, but they can't get it through. Pass goes off the skates of Willen, and it's sent back into the Newton North end. Solari losing it in his skates. Max Guo on the forecheck. Erdman sends it, goes off the official, and Solari recovers it. Around the boards to Pachis. Pachis, long pass, a bit too far for Willen. And that's going to be icing again. Good maneuvering by Ryan Wilson. It might not have looked like much, but I promise you, Ryan Wilson's maneuvering there, it slowed down Willen, even if just a half step. And that half step very well made it impossible for Hayden Willen to catch up with that puck and prevent the icing. So little things that might not look like much, but can potentially make all the difference. And now a timeout is going to be called by Newton North. The Tigers down one score with a minute 10 left to go here at Walter Brown Arena. Brookline 3, Newton North 2. And you know, among the things they're discussing when exactly they want Gavin Doucette to come out of the net. And they're discussing what kind of offensive play they might want to set up to try and score a game-tying goal. Remember, these two teams battled to a 4-4 tie when they met at Ryan Arena back in January. Will we get a winner this time, and will we get a winner in regulation? Off the face-off, it's sent to the back. Battling along the boards for it. Whipped around, gets to Aiden Umina. Pass to Solari, 1 minute left. Solari raced it across the blue line. They have pulled the goalie. It's an empty net. If Brookline can get the puck, a real chance at scoring here. Brookline is knocking it all the way back. Gavin Doucette almost raced back, but now that Newton North has possession, they have fully committed to the empty net. Noah Gurdon slides the other way wide of the net, and that's going to be icing against Brookline. Newton North, as you could see over on that right side, with an empty net as Gavin Doucette has been pulled so that they can go 6-on-5 for an effective power play here in the remaining 37.4 seconds. And now a timeout called by Brookline. So now Brookline trying to get organized with their defensive strategy for these last remaining 37.4 seconds. These two teams being like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a Super Bowl you wanted to go and watch? Well, too bad. We're making this a game. You're going to watch this one, and you're going to enjoy it because this is a great game of hockey. And personally, I got no complaints. This has been a great game. You know, this has absolutely been one of the most entertaining games I've seen of Brookline hockey. And for those of you who have followed along with my streams, you know that's saying something because we've seen some real entertaining hockey this season. Here we go, 37.4 seconds on the clock. Can Brookline hold on, or will Newton North be able to tie things up? Let's find out. Off the face-off, a quick shot, knocked down, and it's scored! Was it Aiden Umina or Luke Tenaglia? Someone knocked it in for Newton North and tied us up at 3 apiece. Looks like it's Luke Tenaglia leading the high five line. So we'll assume it was scored by him. And just like that, everything changes. 3-3 with 33 seconds left in regulation. Off the boards, it's lifted forward by Willen, taken by Gurdon. Off the boards, gets to Guo. Guo, pass disrupted, and it's pushed the other way by King. Taken again by Gurdon. Gurdon pass up to Guo, who moves it along to Henry Ames. Pass across to Grady Ames. Grady Ames gains the blue, whips a shot, saved by Doucette. Left it down, and that is going to end regulation. I'm sorry, did you have a Super Bowl party to get to or something? Too bad. We've got overtime coming here at Walter Brown. At the end of regulation, the score, Brookline 3, Newton North 3. The Tigers, off a scrum out of the faceoff, managed to push the tying goal across the line to tie us up at 3 apiece. That goal scored, I believe, by Luke Tenaglia. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a 5-minute overtime period. It's going to be 4-on-4 throughout the entire period. And next goal wins. If we don't get a goal in those 5 minutes, then this game will be declared a tie. Brookline had a similar result come about last home game and the last game that that we had streamed on this channel. That was a 2-2 finish against Milton that snapped what was at the time a 7-game losing streak for Brookline. And again, Brookline was in the lead late, but gave up a tying goal late in the third period. Brookline hoping maybe they can get a more positive result this time. Here we go in overtime. Katz's pass knocked high. Erdman couldn't get a shot off. It was blocked by Grady Ames accidentally. Around the back, Brody King with it. Long pass up, long pass across. Aiden Umina skating one-on-one against Gurdon, trying to get around. And disrupted, and the puck taken away. Grady Ames skating the other way with it. Gets around a defender. Ames charging in. Ames pass. Erdman turned aside by an outstretched Doucette. Erdman coming around the back, shot, score! Connor Erdman wins it for Brookline! Unbelievable. They seem to have the golden chance on that first attempt, and then Connor Erdman just sneaking around the back finds the low corner and scores the game winner in overtime. The final score in this overtime game after just 41 seconds of overtime play. The Brookline High Warriors 4, the Newton North Tigers 3. Boy, how about that for a game, folks? An absolute thriller of a contest. Brookline and Newton North never fail to put on a show. Just to recap the scoring, in the first period, Brookline scored first. A goal scored by Grady Ames, assisted by Jason Goddard and Thomas O'Brien. That put Brookline up 1-0, but then Newton North answered back. A power play goal scored by Ben Pachis, assisted by Brody King and Steven Solari. And then a breakaway goal by Aiden Umina, assisted by Hayden Willen, to take a 2-1 lead into the first intermission. Brookline came back with a vengeance in the second period with 2 unanswered goals of their own. First, a goal scored by Noah Gurdon, assisted by Henry Ames. And then a goal scored on the power play by Max Guo, assisted by Grady Ames and either Connor Erdman or Noah Gurdon, I'm not sure. And that made the score 3-2 in Brookline's favor going into the second intermission. And through the third period, through almost the entirety of the third period, the score remained the same. But then with just over 30 seconds left in the third period, the game-tying goal scored by Luke Tenaglia in a scrum to send us into overtime, tied at 3 apiece, but we wouldn't have to wait long in overtime as Connor Erdman with the game-winning goal for the Warriors as they take the win over Newton North. Their first win since the Junior Beanpot semis back in January, and boy, what a thriller of a win it was. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything you'd like to say after this live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. You can also go down below to the description section of the video where you can find some helpful links, a link to the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club if you would like to support the Brookline High Boys Hockey Program financially. A link and phone number for our local charity Spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation, where you can find out how you can help support our town's educators and through them our students. Below that, you can find some links relating to me, which you can also find in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or you can skip past all that and just email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Final score in overtime, Brookline 4, Newton North 3. From Walter Brown Arena, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.